The Sumerian mythological heritage is filled with various myths explaining the creation of humans. There are several Sumerian myths detailing the creation of humanity, each attributing human origin and formation to different sources: clay and water, plant origin, animal origin, and divine origin, the word. In this video, we will discuss the first and most famous of these Sumerian myths of human creation, the myth of clay and water, whose main characters are Enki, Nammu, Ninmah, and the clay of the abzu. This well-known myth indicates that after the universe and the gods were created, the gods had to work and provide themselves with food and drink. The younger working gods reached a point of exhaustion and suffering, and they went to complain to the god Enki, who was sleeping in the depths of the waters but did not receive them. Instead, the goddess Nammu, the first Sumerian mother goddess who bore all the gods, told her son Enki about their complaint, saying, "My son, get out of your bedroom, for you, with your wisdom, understand all crafts. Create a substitute for the gods so they can bear the workload instead of them." Enki, upon hearing his mother Nammu's words, rose and entered the sacred hall. He thought deeply, striking his thigh, for he was the wise one who understood everything and all crafts. Enki then created the human's chest and infused his creation, the human, with something of his wisdom. He called upon his mother Nammu and said, "Mother, the creature that I have created, bind to it the work of the gods. After you mix the clay taken from the waters of the abzu, you must shape the clay and create the creature, human, and may the goddess Ninmah assist you." After deciding the shape and nature of humans and imparting some of his wisdom into them, Enki left the matter of their birth to Ninmah and the 7 birth goddesses who assisted her. From this description, humans appeared, and Enki decided their shape, nature, and soul, then placed them in the womb of one of the goddesses, probably Ninmah, to be born with the assistance of the birth goddesses. Nammu then determined their fate, while Ninmah decided the work they would do for the gods. Enki then held a celebration for the gods to show them the birth of the new creature, human. The goddess Nammu created the initial mold, and then the goddess Ninmah took the clay from the waters of the abzu, after she and Enki had drunk much wine, shaped it, and gave birth to it. It seems she created 6 types of humans, all suffering from some form of weakness or illness, but Enki decided a fate for each of them. These early humans were: 1. The stiff-jointed human. Enki made him serve the king. 2. The blind human. Enki made him a singer and musician for the king. 3. The crippled human. Enki made him beautiful and extraordinary. 4. The man who couldn't retain his semen. Enki washed him and he was healed. 5. The barren woman. Enki assigned her to the harem. 6. The human without genitals. Enki named him Nibru eunuch to serve the king. Enki then created a human creature with the help of Ninmah, and this creature was called Umul. Umul was barely able to breathe, his ribs were shaking, his lungs were afflicted, his heart was troubled, and his intestines were affected. His head hung down, and he could not put bread in his mouth. His spine and head were twisted, his shoulders collapsed, and his legs could not walk. It seems Enki deliberately created such a deformed human to embarrass Ninmah and prove her inability, after he managed to determine the fate of 6 other primitive human types she created. Thus, he told her to manage this creature and assign it a fate and a means of living. Ninmah then turned towards Umul and observed him. She approached and called him, but he could not respond. She offered him bread, but he could not eat it. He could not sit or stand, nor could he make himself a shelter or find food. Therefore Ninmah responded to Enki, "What you have created here is neither alive nor dead. It is incapable of doing anything." Enki reminded Ninmah how he had provided a means of living for the humans she created and assigned them a fate. Ninmah justified her failure by explaining that she had left her city and temple due to an attack and had to take refuge in Enlil's temple in Nippur. However, her failure was evident. Enki then asked her to remove the incapable creature from her embrace, accept the creatures she created after he decided their fate, and celebrate his creative ability by singing for him and building a special temple for him. This myth illustrates Enki's ability to create ordinary, healthy humans without explaining the exact process, then shows how Ninmah created 6 types of disabled humans, and how Enki assigned them roles and healed some of them. However, Ninmah failed to help Enki's deliberately created disabled creature. This myth also suggests that the first humans were sick and physically flawed, and without Enki, they could not have survived. Additionally, it indicates that humans were created by Enki, but born by a goddess with the help of 7 birth goddesses. This is a significant indication that humans are considered children of the gods or goddesses, but weak and mortal, tasked with serving the gods and fulfilling their commands rather than living with them or sharing their attributes.